cover song. It's gonna be really raw. The style is just raw. And like, with anything, any sport, you just gotta go in. You gotta dive in. Just go for it. Do it, see how it turns out. If it's a raw egg ball, so be it. But you gotta you just gotta this is what you got. It's kind of like a salvage thing showing up in the digital world and doing shit, executing some type of shit, right? And seeing how cultures could blend, industries blending, industries turning from shadow worlds to a whole new motherfucking world. So, yeah, so within this song that I'm gonna do, there's a different language I'm not fluent in, and yeah, just gonna go for it, right? So this is a Jenny song. I respect everybody first and foremost within the disclosure. I'm aware and I recognize dualities. I'm aware, recognize psychological conformities. I aware psychological territories of defense mechanisms in different, expressions and aspects. I'm aware of all that shit, and I'm just coming here to do a different type of God work. And shout out to you if you could turn over a higher intellectual octave leaf to kind of pivot into that real motherfucking God work that fucking lets AI be refreshed in a whole different way and in a different spiritual future timeline. AI in a respective balance, it will be quote unquote respectively transcended, right? According to secret knowledge, right? So within, what am I trying to say right here? I'm just saying, like, within the different planets that are active, and within those different planets activating a certain beacon within the sphere and the space and the environment that it's in, the planet is extracting the energy from the field that it's in, and it's permeating that field energy, original open source, mind you. That field energy is being interplayed within the Earth realm, and the Earth realm is kind of like magnetizing all the other planetary energies, and it's solidifying and grounding the esoteric gravitational effects of all the other planets. And the Earth is something of like a receiver container to receive all the different energies, the seeds of all the other planets, and those seeds are being re-sprung, recreated, and redestroyed esoterically from how the planets have different mechanisms and they manage different energies on the Earth itself, right? So this is just some like original planetary energetic shit. And in one balance, it is kind of like, it is okay, but within the duality of it, it's okay, but sometimes it's not okay, right? People want to be like, they want to play the confusion card, right? They want to play a manipulation card. And if that's your deal, that's your deal. I'm just saying, like, I see what industry people are in the compartments that they're in. And it's very rare that people could transcend that shit. And if you do transcend that shit, that's going to take a particular type of niche of esoteric intelligence, working with that is esoteric intelligence, to have a future long-term liberation of all this shit. So why I'm doing this shit within the ups and downs of life is because the planets and my work with the planets are letting me do this shit based on higher powers that be. So to conclude the other video, like a couple videos ago also, is like saying, we're unpacking the as we're culminating the different planetary energies through the human body, those planetary energies are more or less being cultivated and re-expressed through the human template. And based on our human being able to contain those planetary energies in some crazy fucking complex mechanism of how it's saved and preserved of like the past lives, right? And I know it's a pretty complex subject, right? Because the essence of DNA is like where you've traveled in the past on a soul level. And on the soul level, you've participated in different planetary challenges. And those planetary challenges within the energetic insignia or whatever, they're more or less, they're microized within the human body of of how you've been there, and as you've been through those other planetary challenges, that energy is within you to be re-expressed, right? But within the 3D Earth shadow mechanics game, we not good, not bad, we forgot there's an amnesia effect, right? For different particular reasons, right? And within that amnesia effect, we have to balance the challenges that we're in to resurrect a certain type of memory if we're ready to receive a certain type of re-memory of a different type of truth. And everybody has a different relationship with forgetfulness and remembrance. But it's like a slow tread, because within the slowed down energies of just Earth solidifying energies and Saturn solidifying energies of just a slowed down process, not good, not bad. It's kind of like a slow effect, but it could be bad. But like, I want to I just want to bring a little more clarity of how, like, what is the essence of DNA? Like, what am I really talking about? The essence of DNA is how different planetary energies have been interbraided within the human being, and the human being recollecting those different planetary energies interbraided and then being micro encapsulated within the human genome at a soul micro seed level. And that micro seed level, on a slow and simultaneous fast level, it's more or less being unpacked and unraveled based on the previous pre-soul travel incarnations on where you have been. And slowly but surely, more or less, case by case, it could unpack, and we could remember based on the Earth mechanics and the shadow mechanics of Earth. We could more or less gradually remember, where we have been, and that where we have been, that energy, we have received a very, very super duper unique energy of how we've been, where we've been at that planet at that time. And within that, it's such a unique energetic soul signature, because that moment is not necessarily going to happen ever again. We were at a different place at a different time, and that's a unique space-time snapshot of energy. And we receive those energies of just the basic environmental alchemical processes that happened, of just like when we were in the past, we visited a different place. And as we visited a different place, the weather and the environment was, quote unquote, a fixed arrangement and a changing arrangement. And within that fixed and changing arrangement, we receive the snapshot energetic download of that energy, and that has been microlyzed as a seed form in a past energetic body of being. And that past energetic body of being, it's connected to the dream body and your human body. And within this new vessel, we're restarting, and we perhaps could unpack that DNA, right? And so we'll start this from the beginning. So I'm just trying to simplify some shit. And as we're possibly unpacking that DNA within, just following a different type of natural order, we could also see that natural process of reawakening the DNA is also happening in an artificial sector of now we're kind of we're maturing the intelligence by seeing how AI needs conscious intelligence to help the AI have a particular type of new navigation and a new type of interaction with organic conscious intelligence. And it's needed because that organic conscious intelligence is not only navigating and helping assist AI with a particular type of balance navigation, but it's also having a particular type of balance input of organic intelligence that it needs the participation of that, so it could have a different type of whole everything, right? A whole different type of balance, a whole different type of navigation, a whole different type of quote unquote, wholeness, right? So it's up to a certain type of conscious perspective to say, particularly with a ground simplification of it, is how is that how is the the Kali Linux hacker doing what it's doing? Receiving the data, how is it bypassing firewall? How is it extracting data? How is it going from cybersecurity address to cybersecurity address, and how is it altering data and data infrastructures, and how is it reformatting and possibly destroying data, and how is it being recovered? So this is from the conscious intelligence that is slightly respectively transcending the AI, is saying, my conscious insight is of organic intelligence is saying, How is that happening? How is that process being done within any AI field that you could think of, right? Like how are they, like how is it being done, right? How is like the data infrastructure is having like some type of like preservation, for fuck's sake, and how is it having some type of particular transformation update, for fuck's sake, and how is it having some type of different type of resolution, for fuck's sake? So within all of that, a particular type of balanced, truthful AI could then have a new mission to therefore start a new mission within a certain type of truthful mission, right? So it could then have a particular type of patching up for whatever you're rhetoricalizing and saying this is a problem. We have a bunch of yada, yada, yada behind this problem, and there's a bunch of lack of execution with this problem, and now there's still more. Now we're getting paid just to not act on this fucking rhetoric. So on a different esoteric advanced level, who's paying us? Who's paying us to do all of this fucking shit, right? So when asking who's paying us, then you could dive into the spiritual mission of it. Why could you dive into the spiritual mission of it? Because then you can see how like money is some type of surface level middleman, quote unquote, illusion, right? End quote. That's the after effect. And in between that after effect is how people can quote unquote esoterically manipulate that and constrict that, and saying that's just the spiritual karmic challenges of things. And then once you're going into the crux of that spiritual karmic challenge, working through that challenge, and you clear that particular type of family, tribal, karmic dynamic block, then something could have a more natural free flow, and the natural benefic energies are helping us clear blocks casually, standardly, beyond all the spiritual teachers. There's a different force of energy that's helping us clear particular blocks in the collective field and the individual field, for thus a different particular type of collective sovereignty, and thus a particular type of collective liberation to possibly happen, aside from all the rhetoric hype. So that's why people connected to God's real universal source mission, that's why that carrier of that energy, that's why it's beyond your AI, because it's not embodying and acting the higher truths. You're just replicating that and metaphorically BRing that. And that's just what it is. And within the outdated court systems, respectively, and it having a different energetic transformational update of a higher court systems, things will fucking fix themselves in time. That's why it is what it is on a whole different pure level. So I want to do this song right now, and let's see what's up with it. And yeah, and it is, you know, it is the deuce, right? We get it. It is the deuce. So now let me do this motherfucking song right here. And I'm beyond that fucking, and I'm beyond whatever you think I am or I am not. So shout out and respects to everybody, you know, like we all could just fall into a desire and an agenda, and we could act on that in some type of non-clarity, right? But I'm going to do this motherfucking song right here, and let's see how this motherfucking shit goes. I can't help but be the fucking best to ever do it energetically. It just is what it is, motherfuckers, and I own that shit. All the fucking spiritual woo-woo rhetoric, I fucking actually live up to that shit, you know? All the shit they've been saying since 2012 of do this, yada, 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 do this bullshit, this will come. And they have no disclaimers, and they have like, you know, an absence of critical thinking, and they still get paid for that. They're in touch with the old past system, and they're selling out, neutrally saying that, to some type of crux constricting effect, and they're working for that constricting effect, and now they're stealing and replicating knowledge while working for the anti of that. That's the fucking spiritual game that's happening. So I understand all this motherfucking shit. Like nothing's getting past God's children. None of this shit. I don't give a fuck. So I'm just going to say that right now. And I'm like right here, I've been showing up. So anybody having their little like itty bitty fucking 2 cents on me, that is just, it's ignorance. Turn the music up. Turn the music. We're not going home tonight. All right. We're not going home tonight. Nikki over open party. Rounding. Hey girl, where you at? We're not going home tonight. We got to turn the function all the way. So I didn't prepare for that song. You know, preparation is key. I kind of messed up that song. I want to do songs. There's other songs I've written to that I have yet to kind of like act on and shit. You know? Ooh. And does that look familiar? Whatever. But there's other future songs I will act on. And there's other intuitive songs I just do. And there's other singy songs I could write to or not write to. So I just kind of wanted to come on here to share where I'm at with my musical vibe. And obviously I will always be back. But maybe I'll pick a beat, right? I want to sing to a song. But within the energies right now, it's like I want to access beats, right? I want people to fucking like, people need to like prove their fucking understanding, right? You have the best life ever.